Welcome back. We have come to the end of the book. Today is going to be the last chapter, the epilogue, and then some reviews that were at the front of the book to see if you felt the same way as some of the reviews. And then there are some recipes that were mentioned in the book that I'll be having a slideshow of after it's all said and done. And then there are some notes or questions from to the author and the author's response to the questions that I will be covering as well. So, without further ado, Starlight. My train leaves in 2 hours at 9:39 p.m. Of course, Wanda insists on driving me to the station, which is here in downtown Oakland and butts right up to the harbor in Jack London Square. It's amazing how you can catch a train next to sailboats and yachts parked in their berths. Wanda and I have our farewell dinner at Kincaid's. Well, I hope it's everything you hope it would be. You couldn't pay me to ride a damn train by myself for 10 hours, let alone 23. It's because you don't know what to do with silence. Embroiderer. Anyway, whatever month you get to Toronto, give Stanley a hug and a fist bump since high five is passe. And please don't blow it, Georgia. Bye, I say, and we hug, and I leave her in front of the kiosk. Be in touch whenever you have service. It'll be a blessing to be disconnected. Okay, I say, and start pulling my 2 bags towards the station. But of course, she has more to say, and she yells it. And remember, don't talk to strangers. I just wave a hand in the air. So she decided to go. When I get inside the station, it hits me that I'm finally going to get on this train. But the Coast Starlight isn't your everyday train. It's famous. The scenery along the Coast Starlight's route, widely regarded as one of the most spectacular of all train routes, is unsurpassed. I can't wait to see those dramatic snow-covered peaks, the lush forests, and fertile valleys and long stretches of the Pacific Ocean, which will provide a stunning backdrop for my journey. I stole this from their website. I could probably sit in this station all day and just read, or people watch. The walls are all pan glass, modern. The ceilings are so high that the curved steel arches make it feel and look like an airplane hangar. Metal encased and thick ribbed lights hang from a long cable, and right in the middle of the dark tile floor are rows of black seating, much nicer than what you see at the airport. I felt the same way when I left for college. I sit down and wait, listening to the announcements. How many minutes until boarding? 30. The train is on time. I look around. There are hundreds of people zigzagging through this place in slow motion. I've packed a fleece blanket and an ergonomic pillow, a hooded jacket, and leather gloves just in case. I also broke down and brought a Kindle, only because I couldn't decide which books to bring. 10 minutes. For once, I didn't overpack. I decided that once I'm in Canada, I'll just buy new when I need something clean. I've always wanted to do this. Why not now? I want to know what it feels like to be unburdened for a week. I also want to celebrate how good I'm feeling and splurge a little and not worry about it. Of course, I brought my personal items, and Wanda insisted I go to Neiman Marcus and not Victoria's Secret. I brought a pair of white silk pajamas and 2 items I haven't worn in years, negligees. But they're not just for Stan, they're for me, and I'm feeling amazing in them. When I finally hear the boarding announcement, I spring up and fall in line with about 100 or more passengers who seem to know where we're going. I brought a coach ticket because I don't need a bedroom on a train. It won't kill me to sleep sitting up. The passengers on the superliner get extra privilege besides miniature sleeping quarters. They also get a little shower and free drinks and a lounge and movies. But all the windows on the train give you the same view. A nice guy who looks like a hiker helps me up the steps. He hands me my two bags and point to where I can drop them off. I put one of mine with a growing pile of 70s looking suitcases. Show my ticket to the conductor, a black woman with red cornrows. She tells me to hang a left, head up the stairs, and hold on to my ticket. I look for my row. I'm sitting next to a window. I pull out my blanket and pillow and toss them onto my seat and put my bag overhead. Doesn't look like I have a seatmate. I say hello back to folks as they pass by. People appear to be friendly on trains. This car is filling up fast. A young couple seated across from me heave their backpacks overhead. Both are blonde and both have ponytails. They smell like earth. How's it going? He asks. I'm Travis and this is Holly. I'm fine, thanks. Nice to meet you both. I'm Georgia. I suppose they qualify as strangers. They look European, but they're American. Where you headed? Travis asks. Vancouver. Which one? British Columbia. You a hiker? Holly asks, but then when she noticed my hot pink acrylic nails, she says, I guess not. And here comes a big woman who has 4 thin braids falling from her temple with red, orange, and white plastic beads dangling on the end of each one. When they said to dress in layers, she listened. I can't identify what she has on, but it's multi-tiered and confusing. She's kicking 5 shopping bags down the aisle, drops her backpack on the seat next to mine, and say, Hi, I'm Kaliko. Hello, Kaliko, I say with as straight a face as possible. I'm Georgia. She chucks each of her bags up top, and I'm praying they don't touch mine. Then she pushes her backpack to the floor, pulls a tuna sandwich on white bread out of a white bag, and takes 2 big bites. She chews like she hasn't eaten in weeks. What the fuck? How far are you going? She asks, and I don't look to see if she's still chewing because I just can't. Seattle, I say, low enough so my hiker neighbors don't hear. Me too, going to a funeral. You look like you might be ready to vacation. I nod. Where do you hail from? Oakland. She finishes her sandwich, then digs out 2 cartons of Yoo-hoo chocolate drink and a narrow package of tiny powdered donuts and polish those off. And then she farts. I swear to God she does. And she doesn't say excuse me. But it's exactly what I say to her when she gets up to let me out, and I take my pillow and blanket and reach for my rollerboard, and she says, How long are you going to be gone? I'm not sure. I'm going down to the observation car to look at the stars. Enjoy, she says, and moves into my seat. I hear the conductor shout, All aboard! Loud enough to be heard a block away. When I walk into the observation car, the entire ceiling is slightly tinted curved glass that drops down to a wall of windows, which are directly in front of the seats that swivel. Farther down are rows of built-in rectangular tables big enough for 4. The soft blue cushions are like those you've seen in a nice diner. The dining car starts where these tables end. This is where I decide I'm going to live for the next 23 hours. When I feel the wheels churn and screech against the steel tracks and the train inches its way out of the station, I feel more excited than I did when my daddy took us to Disneyland for the first time. After the boats finally disappear, I call my daughters, Ma, Wanda, Violet, call them? Oh, Violet, okay, they friends looking up that. Mercury and Marina. I saved Stan for last. The train has just left the station, I tell them, and they applaud and offer their personal safety guides about what to do in case of an emergency. All of them except Stan. So, your adventure begins, he says. It does. Enjoy every minute of it, he says. And call or text when you can or when you feel up to it. I'm already tomorrow here. It's already tomorrow here. But not to worry. I also love travel photos, especially the ones that look airbrushed. Just let me know when you'll be arriving in Vancouver, and this way I'll know how many miles to go before I wake. Will do. I wanted to tell him I wished he were sitting next to me, but I just couldn't. I miss him, and I haven't missed anybody in years. I put my pillow on top of the table, wrap my fleece blanket around my shoulders, and lay my head down. Hold on. He said how many miles before he wake? Is he on a train too? Okay. When I feel someone shaking me, I look up, and seated across from me are Kaliko and a scrawny-looking older woman with short, feathery hair I can see through, smiling at me, or maybe not. I thought you were coming back. Anyway, this is my new friend, Coletta. Coletta, this is Georgia. Hello, Coletta. Were you sleeping? Coletta asks. Yes, it's been a long day. Tell me about it, she says. So what is it you do for a living? Kaliko asks. I'm an optometrist. No shit. Even though I don't want to know, I feel obligated to ask. What about you two? I'm currently unemployed, Kalika says. I'm disabled. I'm a bebop singer, Coletta says. Really? Yes, I've just discovered how much I love harmony, so I've been helping out a group in Eugene, which is where I will have to leave you ladies tomorrow afternoon. That sounds exciting. I can tell these two have a lot in common. Coletta's eyes are glassy. Are you okay? I ask her. I will be as soon as my meds kick in. So what are you going to Seattle for? Kalika asks. To start a new life, I say, just to see what they'll say. Well, we all could use one, Kalika says. Coletta just nods in agreement. Yes, we do. But you know what, ladies? I'm really tired and need to close my eyes if you don't mind. Then sleep away, Kaliko says. But they don't leave. And for the next 3 or 4 hours, they tell each other their life stories, which is like listening to every soap opera ever made rolled into one. I feel the sun on my face and my neck is killing me. I open one eye and see that the girls are gone. We're in Oregon. Klamath Falls, the town's tiny brick station, though clearly pretty new, looks like something you'd see in a black and white movie. I go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, and wash my face with my own products. I would like to change, but I wouldn't dream of undressing in this stainless steel bathroom. I have a roll and bitter coffee for breakfast. There is no cell phone service, and I'm told there won't be for hours, but it doesn't matter. For the next 7, I won't stop looking out the window because this is what I see. Rain, Mountain Shasta, a snow-covered island surrounded by a blue lake. Rain, tunnels, forests, mountain, canyons, beavers, a red sun, twilight. The last of which is precisely when I'm sitting in a dining car eager to order dinner and the train suddenly stops. Other folks seem as baffled as I do, and we're all wearing that look of anticipation, which is when we hear the announcement that there's been a gas line break outside of Portland. We're going to have to stay put until it's fixed. That it might be 2, maybe 3 hours, but they'll keep us informed. And here comes my BFFs. The hostess asks if I would mind if they joined me, and I tell her not at all. I order a burger and fries and a salad made with iceberg lettuce. My girlfriends order the same, except Coletta ordered hers without a bun. So it looks like we're stranded, huh? She says. I'm in no hurry, Kalita says. I thought you were going to a funeral. Did I tell you that? Yes, you did. Then I am. Except it's probably my own. They both think this is funny. I almost choke on my hamburger, it's so dry, and I only eat half of it. The fries are hard and yellow. I can see a puddle of dressing on the plate after I eat a few forkfuls of the wet lettuce. Coletta is still futzing with her brown burger. Colita, Colico's plate is empty. Are you going to finish that burger? She asks. I look at it. No. You mind if I finish it? No. I say, shocked that she's serious. What about the salad? Knock yourself out, I say, and push my plate closer to her. When the waitress brings 3 checks, they act like they're afraid to look at theirs. I take them. Did she just get scammed on the train by strangers that she wanted to talk to? Are you shitting me? Kaliko says, as if she hit the lottery. Well, that's awful kind of you, Georgia. It must be nice to be a professional like yourself. Thank you so much. You're quite welcome, ladies. But look, I want to get a little reading in, maybe watch a movie, since we don't know how long we're going to be on this train. I will have a chance to watch 2 movies before this fucking train moves. But while we wait, this is what happens on the Oriental Express. People start smoking in the bathroom, cigarettes and marijuana. Children run up and down the aisles. A young couple at the table in front of me decide to turn it into an art class and invite the children who won't sit down to sit down and paint on 3x5 index cards they whipped out of their backpacks. And they even line up the watercolor trays for the kids. And for the next few hours, even some adults decide they also want to be Picasso. I decided to have a drink. And this is who I meet while drinking champagne at the other end of the observation card. Harriet and Raymond, both 73, celebrating a 50th wedding anniversary. They met on a train. They're from Sacramento. Juice. He's trying to get off meth and figure a train ride would help aid in his recovery. He seems a little wired to me. Marvin and Maynard, twins, 42, from Saratoga Springs, New York, both recently divorced, who've decided to ride out their pain on a train around the entire United States. They don't think they're going to make it past Seattle. June, 18, a runaway from Vallejo, California, going as far as the train goes. She has no money. I gave her $60. It's all the cash I have. People on trains will talk to anyone willing to listen. I'm fascinated by just how different our lives are, and this is what I overhear while waiting for the Starlight to move. I'm getting off this fucking train if you say it one more time. I swear to God. I love you. 4 times? Really? They're getting a divorce? He did? I'm quitting my job because I hate it. You lived in 13 foster homes? You're not having it? You just cannot trust men. You were born to be a slut. Meet me in the restroom. I don't read a word for hours. I don't need to. I close my eyes after so many miles of rocking. When we stop in a station to take a new passenger, an oncoming train passes, and it feels like we're moving too, but backwards. When the train finally does move, I close my eyes and dream about Stanley. I reenact our weekend and hit pause at the place I want to stop it. Each time I try to use my cell phone, it simply says no service, so I give up. It appears that almost everybody's asleep, but I find myself looking out the window at the deep darkness and the strong rain and at my reflection in the glass. And I'm trying to remember why I wanted to take this fucking train ride in the first place. Because you watched it in a movie. Oh yeah, to figure out how I was going to do the things I've either already done or am in the process of now doing. We arrive in Seattle 5 hours late. I say goodbye to my friends. The hotel has given away my room. The train to Vancouver leaves in 3 hours, so I decided to just wait in the station until it's time to board. Four uneventful hours later, I'm finally in Vancouver. The good news is it only takes me 15 minutes to go through custom. I look like shit, but I don't care. I'm starting to realize how beautiful train stations are. Airports could learn something from them. Seriously. I paid for the option of spending the day sightseeing and shopping and maybe spending the night here in a 5-star hotel and leaving in the morning. I could be in Toronto in 4 days instead of 6, but I don't want to spend the day as a tourist or the night in a beautiful hotel alone. I want to see Stanley. I decide to call him. I want to hear his voice instead of just remembering it. I hope he doesn't think the train went off the track or that I had a change of heart and am blowing him off. I sit down on what looks like a church pew and dial. It rings 3 times and go to voicemail. I probably should have just stayed home and painted something because so far the ride on this train has been disappointing. And now I have to get on another one for 4 to 5 more days before I'll even get to Toronto. I just hope I can stand being on another train that long. I feel tears welling in my eyes. And just as they're about to roll, I realize I don't have any tissue. Is anybody sitting here? I look up, and there he is. No, I say, trying to pull myself together. Are you okay? I'm fine, I say, and tighten my ponytail and wipe my eyes. What's your name? Georgia Young. Well, it's nice to meet you, Georgia Young. I'm Stanley Distancio. It's nice to meet you too, Mr. Distancio. Please call me Stan. Stan? Oh, you look like you could use a hug. I could, I say. And then he reaches over and pulls me inside his arms and holds me like a baby. I knew it. I was worried because I haven't heard a peep out of you since yesterday, so I hopped on a plane and flew here. What's wrong? I'm so glad to see you. It was just horrible, and I don't care if I never get on another fucking train ever again in life. You don't have to. You were right about the service. Mountains and wilderness don't need to worry about reception, and what a bunch of weirdos and people who don't know where they're going, and everybody's just so damn lonely. Well, no one better than you to understand that we're all only trying to find a place to land. I look at him and just blurt out, I really like you. I like you too, he says, a lot. I'm glad, I say. I also love you, he says. I think I might possibly, potentially, but probably love you too, Stan. Could you please repeat that, but without all the words that began with P? I love you, Stanley Distacio. That's much better, he says, but it's Stan. And we sit here on this bench a few more minutes without talking, which is when I get an overwhelming sense of where I am and what I'm doing and how implausible this really is, and that it can't be happening because it feels too good. I can't afford to do this again, I blurt out. Do what again? Start and stop? You don't have to. What makes you so sure? Because I think we've been waiting a very long time for each other. Don't. This isn't a movie, Georgia. And ain't. I sit there and think. So what would you say if I told you I fell in love with you 35 years ago, but never told a soul, not even my own? I believed you. I believe you, he says. What? I knew when you refused to go to the pizza place with me, which is why I brought you the whole box. Really? I knew it when you sat up front and didn't turn back to look at me. Shut up. I lean against him and push. But I also knew I loved you when you let me join your study group. He chuckles. It was confirmed when you let me touch you, and I knew then that one day I was going to touch you again. I hold out my hand, touch me now. And he strokes my fingers. I'm going to love you soft and hard, he says. Okay. I'm going to make you so happy you won't know what to do except be happy. This sounds good to me, and I'll give everything back to you triple. And I'm going to listen to every word that comes out of your mouth. I'm a talker. You think I've forgotten? You know what I want to know, I ask. I'm listening. How the universe works. You mean the planets we're on right now? Including the stars, all of it. That's going to take some time. How about many days? About how many days? I ask sarcastically. At least 1,000,000. When we hear them announce that my train is ready for boarding, I tear up my ticket and toss it in his trash. He stands up and pulls my bags closer together. I look up at him. He looks down at me. So, I say, here we are. No, he says, here we go. Okay, and that's the end of this chapter. So I'm gonna give my thoughts on the chapter. It was an okay chapter. It was a great ending of the book. I understood why they put all of that detail into the train ride to get us to know that she wasn't gonna be on this train ride. And I was right there with it. I was like, no, can't do this. Either that or she should have got herself a private room. That's what my thoughts. But she decided not to go forward. And Stan was like, I ain't here for my woman. What's going on? So he done did himself, got himself a ticket and found her. How he found her though? Did he know she was going to be at the hotel? Well, anyway, he found his woman. And I like that he just keep it real 100%. And when he said that he was going to make her so happy that she won't know what to do but be happy, that was deep. That man loved that woman. That woman loved that man. So that's enough of the end of the chapter. You ready for the epilogue? Epilogue. Wanda won the bet. Nelson paid up. They moved to Palm Desert. Estelle and the girls are keeping their old home alive in the Oakland Hills. The girls moved into the house. Gabrielle and Scarlett are both single again. They grown up. Oh, maybe they were grown and not children. My bad. Dove can say, I eat teen months when asked how old she is, even though she's 20 months. Frankie and Hunter are happy and pregnant again. She says she's loved being a mom and Levi is thriving. He is much cuter than I ever imagined. She got a story published. Mona No passed. Oh, Mona No passed. Velvet moved in with her baby daddy and is perfectly engaged and perfectly attending cosmetology school. Miracles do happen. Who her baby daddy? Violet and Richard. Oh, Velvet. Got it. Yeah, that's right. Velvet and Richard are for sure shacking up. She's probably going to get reinstated with the bar, but has decided she might do well working with battered women. She has apparently grown a conscience. Okay. Lily and Grover Jr. are engaged and pregnant with twin boys through a surrogate. Better late than never. The practice is thriving. 2 new partners may open an office in Berkeley. Okay, so Lily and Grover made it. Marina and Mercury, who claimed they didn't believe in marriage, are now married. Okay. They will graduate from the Academy of Art next year, at which time they believe without an ounce of doubt they're never having children and are moving to New York. They said they wasn't going to get married, so. Stan and I just had our third child. What? They better have been adopted, or maybe it's a dog. LOL. Seriously. We're in Cape Town, South Africa. We've been here for 6 weeks. I rented optometry equipment and have been given free eye exams and glasses to those who can't afford them. Nothing ever felt better. We'll come back annually. We went on a safari. Seeing those animals up close scared the hell out of me. I prefer watching them on National Geographic Channel. However, I love the accommodations. Stan and I have decided that the world is worth seeing. So 2 or 3 times a year, we plan to travel to a different country or place, somewhere one of us has never been. Next up is Dubai, then Bora Bora, then Spain, and Australia. We will go back to Africa once a year regardless. Victoria Falls and Ghana and Kenya and Zimbabwe are high on the list. I should just say the entire continent. At home, I have yet to see Yellowstone and the Grand Canyon, and then there's the Kennedy Space Center. Stan and I are bi-coastal. I love his apartment. I cook up a storm in that little kitchen, but I also love New York City. I redid my own kitchen. Blue stove, tangerine fridge, yellow dishwasher. It rocks. Naomi and Macy totally dig it. Stan still builds. He has quite a crew. Bakerfield is on the short list. Stan also keeps his word. He renovated a 1,500 square foot studio for me in West Oakland. The garage at my house can handle 2 cars again. I seem to say Stan's name a lot. I've sold 12 stools, 7 chairs, 5 side tables, and a ton of pillows, all of which appear to have taken up permanent residence and found lovers in a very hip home decor shop. Naomi and Macy knew people who knew people, and those people knew even more people. I have also recently started making ottomans, covering them with wow and beautiful fabric, and getting rather carried away. I have deactivated my Facebook account until further notice. I do not miss it. However, Mona was right. My third husband was number 3 of 98 messages. Stan wrote this. Hello there, Georgia. Hope you're well. I think of you often. If you're ever in New York City, let me know. Would love to take you out for a slice. Love, Stan DeSasio. And last but not least, I do not regret quitting my job. And that is the end of I Almost Forgot About You. Okay, in this clip, I was telling you that I was getting ready to record or show you the reviews that were at the front of the page of the book. I was going to show you the recipes, and I was going to show you the Q&As, but unfortunately it's a little bit too difficult to get that into this video, so I'm just gonna insert a clip of me after the fact. So I'm sorry about that, but I cannot include it in this clip, so stay tuned for the next clip. Okay, and I'm back with my final thoughts and my ratings. And my final thoughts is I absolutely love this book. It was well written. I love all the gems that it was in it. I love the emotions that it had me going up and down. I love that it brought back memories, and it brought up discussions of things of how I was, I put myself in her shoes a couple of times and remembered how I was back in my youth, because I'll be 52 next month. So although I'm not at the level she is at being in my 50s, because I'm still enjoying life and I'm still loving what I'm doing, but I can relate on a certain levels and stuff like that. And I like the fact of how Terry wrote this book. It was very elegantly written. And like I said, there were a bunch of gems in it. So I got some things from it. and I have a better understanding of relationships with men and women and the emotions that it entails and stuff like that. Um, so my rating of this book out of 5 stars, I'm gonna give it a 4.5 because there were some situations and some subjects that was I just couldn't get with, that it was just like not uncomfortable per se, but I just would not be able to do. And 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 nothing to take my it's not taken away from the author at all. It's just my personal thoughts. Okay, so that was my final thoughts and my final ratings. In the comment section below, please feel free to let me know your final thoughts and what ratings you would give this book. And announcement time. June is my birthday month, and therefore I will not be reading the book for June on camera. If I do read a book, it'll be for me, and I won't be reading it on camera. And because I'm still trying to get to my 12 books a year, and finishing this book makes book number 5, and if I read something in June, it'll be book number 6. But I might, if I do read, I might create a little small video of what I read and my thoughts on it and my ratings. So I'm gonna just have to say I'm gonna see y'all in July, and thank you so much for listening as I read the book of I Almost Forgot About You. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.